it is Val's Day. And again, Enugu is making an attempt at Guinness World Records today. So, for all the reasons, Enugu is happy, Enugu is moving. And for the fact that, of course, whether you agree or not, our tomorrow is also here. There are a lot of reasons to be happy living in Enugu, but there's also a lot of to be concerned about. That's what life is all about. And so this morning, we will be looking at state of the nation. Our country, Nigeria, is undergoing several dramatic changes. Let me use the word drama. Dramatic changes. The good, the bad, and ugly. The good part of it is that, I don't know, I learned the cost of fuel is coming down. Dangote, I'm told, is bringing down the cost of fuel. So that's just one good thing. We thought that once prices go up in Nigeria, they don't come down. The price of rice had gone up, beans had gone up, but gradually they're all coming down. That's the good part of it. The bad part of it is that we're not totally safe in some parts of the country. Some places are safer than the others. And I think my state is safer than the rest of other states. Okay? So there's abduction here and there, but of late we are quite comfortable. I had a guy who came from the United States. I stayed in Enugu for 2 weeks, and he was gallivanting everywhere. I think 2 years ago, you wouldn't have thought of that. They would probably be telling him, don't go, they'll take you, but he'll be gallivanting, nightclubs, everything, and he's gone back. And I like that kind of testimony. So that those who think that the Southeast is in trouble should have a rethink. We're free here, we're doing our business. There's no place you don't have bad guys, good guys, ugly guys. That's one. The other is that whether you agree or not, we make giant strides in Enugu State. Whether it is in the educational sector, whether it is in the infrastructure, whether it is on health, whatever you may think about. Enugu today is not the Enugu of 2 years ago. There is a change. There may be things you don't like about it, and that is just the reality. Take it or leave it. So, state of the nation, then our country. 2 days ago, El-Rufai had a fight at the airport. But it was a struggle between those security people and the masses. The people came around El-Rufai and formed a shield around him. He managed to have his way, but of course he said he's reporting to EFCC on Monday, and Tuesday or Wednesday or thereabout, depending, he'll be reporting to EFCC. So that he's been invited by all the agencies in the world. What is happening in Nigeria? Election timetable. INEC have released the election timetable. The Senate is challenging Nigerians on e-transmission. That's a lot. But to kickstart this program, I'm being joined already by Chopode Anyanuka, PhD. He is, of course, the public affairs analyst. He is a university don, if you will. And he was just coming in looking a little bit tired. I said, why? He said, look, the burden I am now on my shoulders are too heavy. I said, well, they find it fit and proper to do it, so keep on doing it. So Chukwudi, good morning and welcome to Freedom Square Live.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Adioke, the Papal Knight. Former this, former that.
You know me very well.
The chief himself.
You know me very well.
I'm very happy to be here this morning, and I also want to, say good morning to Enugu and others who are listening from all over the world.
Thank you very much. And also we have the secretary of our guild, the Guild of Public Affairs Analysts, is a medical doctor. I think these days he does more job of an analyst. I don't know when how he finds time to do his to talk to the patients. I hope they are not suffering. Dr. Marcel Rossi.
Good morning, Papa Knight. Good morning, good morning, our listeners and our viewers. And it's a beautiful day. I still talk to my patients.
Sometimes I wonder. I tell him that he even performs better than a journalist or a communicator.
Yes.
He speaks more than,
I think it's a passion. He's passionate about it.
Yes.
So thank you, Doc. And of course, we're also being joined by, have I seen you this year?
Yes, we did New Year broadcast.
Okay, we did, yes. He's a fine economist, he's a chartered accountant, he's a public affairs analyst, he's actually the man who takes care of our welfare. I don't know what is a professorial welfare. He does that, but of course, he's a man you can't easily track. I think 2 days ago he was still outside the Enugu, and he was saying he said he was going to make it, and so when it was time, I didn't really see him. I said, I told this man, this man made it. He is Professor Chimukoba. Prof.
Baba night.
Back in
Adumayi. Otutomo.
this is white thing is growing.
You know, what can a man do?
A man can be doing a lot of things.
That's the sign of good living.
Gentlemen, yes, as much as what we get to today, yesterday wasn't the best of days for Enugu. It wasn't the best of days. As many Nigerians came into Enugu, moved to a small village in the South local government. Even our governor was there were a lot of dignitaries, and that was the burial ceremony of a distinguished senator, Okay Ezia. Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I want us to take a minute or two to express our condolences and family. And maybe if you ever had the opportunity of meeting him, say 1 or 2 things you learned from him, or you saw him do, or what lessons should we learn from the death of such a distinguished senator, so that those who are living could learn a lesson or two. Let me start with Chichibodi.
Oh, well, Chief, it's really a sober time, particularly yesterday. Sadly, I didn't find time to either go there physically or even to follow the broadcast. But it was later in the night that I, saw some reports in regard to Okezia's burial. A man who has stood as far as Labour was concerned. I think out of all the senators in Enugu, is about the one who hasn't defected to any other party. And you asked a very, very salient question. First of all, of course, he has left a legacy. There's absolutely no doubt about it. I was having an argument with someone yesterday who was of the opinion that he didn't live to enjoy all he had labored for. But I had a very contrary opinion. Why I said so is that we don't know when our time will come.
Yeah.
Death is a necessary end. It is like a debt we all owe, which we're going to pay one day, and the day we don't know. So it is something that should also, because live in such a way and manner that will be remembered, not necessarily for good, like some people say, but at least for the legacies that we've left. I met Okezia in 2006, when I returned to Enugu. Then a friend of mine just invited me to join them for a political meeting in his house. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was GRA, somewhere in GRA, if I'm not mistaken. But
Independence Lounge.
Okay, was it Independence Layout? Okay, that means I kind of mixed it up. So, and that was where I met him for the very first time. I had never attended a political meeting of that nature. I think it was still Labour too. It was still, I believe, he's been in Labour for a very long time. So
No, it was the PDP.
no, in 2006 was in PDP. I think he was trying to contest the 2007 elections because the meeting was about strategizing, or probably maybe he was preparing for the primaries or something, but he was strategizing to see if he could become the gubernatorial candidate.
Okay, no, he had left PDP.
Yes, he was not
he
in
had left
PDP.
PDP then.
Yes, I think it was Labour.
He left PDP when Chimaroke was governor.
Yes. So that was the first time I met him, and that was the only time I ever met him. The only other thing I know about him are things I read about him in the media. But looking at the pictures from yesterday's event, I mean, we saw his family. And as far as I'm concerned, after all the suffering, if you like, or all he had, attempted to, become governor of Enugu State, he never walked, but he eventually became a senator. We know that he could not complete his tenure on account of the fact that God decided to call him at the time he did. But then again, he eventually became a senator. I think, I think it was an achievement as far as I'm concerned. And of course, he has built a whole lot of people. He had a lot of disciples. He had a lot of people that I believe that he groomed. Because if you saw the crowd that gathered yesterday, in fact, I have a friend of mine who is from my community who was supposed to attend that burial. He's a very staunch member of the Labour Party, but he told me he wouldn't go yesterday because the crowd would be too much. So that's about what I have to say about KSDR. So the lesson, I think it's important for us to learn that being consistent pays in the end. You don't give up, because between 2006 when I met him and when he eventually became senator, count the number. I believe he even started contesting even before 2006.
Yeah.
So count the number of years he has remained steadfast in his ambition to become, a governor, but eventually became a senator. So I think it's something that we should learn from. Consistency pays.
Yes, Dr. Bassey.
Yeah, may the soul of our senator rest in peace.
Amen.
He died at a young age. I think he died at the age of 63. Born in 1963. Right?
This is just 61.
Okay, 61. But I think he was born. So you look at him, he's a person whom I think the word of experience, we need it now. Nobody expects anybody to live 200 years, but we expect to live into the, an age which will say you've actually bequeathed to the, generation what you've learned. Okay, is embodiment of, consistency, like he said. I first understood about, I never met him, but I first understood him when in 2006, when they were singing the beautiful song, Ndoma, Ndoma, Labour Party, Ndoma, and it reverberated across Enugu. I never knew we were talking about a young man, 20 years ago, means he was 40 years or thereabouts. So he maintained that consistency. And when he went to the Senate, many of us were like, what happened? We were not really hearing about it. Little did we know that he was battling with illness, that made him go abroad and come back. His colleagues actually attribute that he's a humble person who works with his colleagues and is tenacious. And they try to get some bills, especially the Federal College of Agriculture, Hadan, which we are yet to understand if it was passed and assented to. But one thing again I will remember is coming from medical perspective. When I saw that I don't want to disclose the illness I think he has because of a personal issue, the family will disclose that. But what's important is that many of us, we are fully aware that he was flown abroad. And it brings the question, why do we still travel abroad for illnesses? It's for chronic ones. Why would we still want to be treated abroad? I've made it clear that you cannot treat any emergency outside of your country. And for complications or chronic illnesses, you can only manage it within your country because it requires you to have consistent evaluation, checkup. So please, our leaders, if you're listening to us, the lesson we need to learn is that those saddled with responsibility of establishing good and quality health care that's affordable to everybody, please let it be in the memory. Let's do something better off in our health system. This year we heard that the Ministry of Health got about 36 million naira, which I don't know how that works, but it's something that.
Did you say 36 million?
36 million. And am
I
correct?
billion.
Million, 36 million.
Federal Minister of
Health.
Out of their capital project. That's the only money they received.
36 million last year.
That is ridiculous.
So we can understand it underscores what we are saying, that those who are saddled with making our health system, please, there is so much work to do, both at the state, local government area, and I can tell you many of us, the chronic illnesses will suffer, especially diabetes, hypertension, those diseases that are very much around us can be managed in our, healthcare facilities. You don't need to go outside. Many of our people need to just interact 1 or 2 times with the healthcare professional. All you need to do is to put an environment where they will stay and then build trust within the community, and these issues will be handled. I once again say, may his soul rest in peace, and may all of us learn good lessons. At least maintain the virtues of good work. He's a typical, I must tell us, he's a typical Enugu North person. Let me not call him Nwansuka because that word was abused into derogation. But I think it's a proud man to be called Nwawawa, Nwenugu, Nwamaku, Nwogu, Nwansuka. So, but he actually showed that clearly that he is a true son of his father. Thank you very much.
Prof.
Well, for me, may his soul rest in perfect peace. And we pray that he finds solace or peace in the bosom of God. But beyond that, the key lesson here is that every one of us must understand that power is transcendent. Wealth is for a pose. And we, as stewards, must give account of whatever thing God entrusted in our hands in the end. When you have opportunity of doing good, do good. Help people. Legacy is not about the amount of wealth we amass, the amount of power we accrue, but more about the lives that we impact positively. Thank you.
Okay, and for me personally, it's something difficult to say because I've known Oke at very close quarters from PDP together. We had several roles together. But there's one thing you can't take away from Oke. He was a passionate man about other states.
Yeah.
That's why you see the creme de la creme of Nsukka, of Enugu North Senatorial Zone people. He's one man that is steadfast, he's unapologetic about it. He has only wanted another state, and he has given his entire life to it. He's a man of courage. He's a man of candor. He's a man of honor. He speaks truth to power. He has always done that. He does not care. So, some people see it as a bit of arrogance. But I see as a man who is committed to his ideals. He doesn't change with the weather. He's not a political weathercock. He was never that. If he stood by you, he stood by you. If he changes his lane, you know he has changed his lane. And yesterday was a testament to that. I listened to our governor speak about him. You know, they come from different political parties. Okezia will surely be missed, not just by the Enugu North Senatorial Zone, not only by the Enugu, but by the entire Nigeria. If you watched him stand up at the Senate to speak, he speaks with focus. He's a man that does not chew his words. And so, as he was laid to rest yesterday, a lot also was laid to rest. Consistency, vibrancy, commitment to ideals. And if you listen to one of the last video I watched, when he said, look, I'm in labor, I'm not changing. Oh my God. So what else can we say about him? To close friends, associates, immediate family, take heart, that is a necessary end. It comes when it's well. We don't know about times. But I think Oke lived a good life. He saw, he came and he conquered. He wasn't governor, was not the issue. He had planned to serve his people and God gave him the opportunity. And for the 2 years and plus that he did it to the best of his ability. So may his soul and the souls of the faithful departed continue to rest in peace.
Amen.
Man, thank you guys. Nobody's wearing red here. Today is bar, gentlemen, and
I thought red was for the ladies. You're the only one wearing red here.
no, this
That's consistency.
this one follows me. This one follows me everywhere. Anyway, you know, Doc sometimes Prof sort of writes about love. So let me start with Prof. What does this mean to you?
Well, I'll maybe like a continuation of my last statement when we paid our respect to Kaiser. For me, growing up, I knew Valentine as a day we commemorate the sacrifice made by Saint Valentine, which is also a demonstration of untainted, unwavering, unreserved love for people. So for me, it reminds me that it's a day, not what we have now made it to become. Even though in our own days it was the same thing that is happening now. It was a misconstruction of what the day signifies. For me, it's not what we are celebrating, what we have made the day to become. It's not what the day should represent. It's a day we show people unwavering love Love that is not tainted, that is not expectant, but love that is sacrificial, as it should be.
Agape love.
Yes.
Dr. Master.
When I was growing up, today, I must tell you, for the younger ones, it means a lot of things to a lot of people. For the younger ones, it could be a day of happiness, it could be a day of pain, because if you didn't receive your own, beautiful words today, it becomes a very painful word. For the married ones, I
You
feel
don't know what you are waiting to receive.
The gift.
the gift. Now, if it didn't come, it becomes a very.
Why think it's only for women?
I'm coming to men now because we only receive boxers and singlets.
And you're lucky to receive them.
You're lucky.
They don't deceive.
You receive at all.
And now I've grown older. For the married men, unfortunately, we don't receive anything. Although we're expecting our couples to send us tires, vehicle tires. That would be a nice gift, and not boxers and
Or bills.
Or bills,
They'll send you bills.
But it's a day we remember the loved ones. It's a day people share love. It's a day people understand St. Valentine, and at least go back to appreciate what he did for humanity. It's a day that all of us would know no boundary. It's a day that we should all, welcome people and help the needy. It's a day we should understand that and reinvigorate in ourselves that there is need to show care to the next person. It mustn't be the opposite, partner, and it mustn't be an illicit or illegal or unacceptable mechanism. It is not a transactional relationship. It should be open, and we expect if you are looking for something, please, for younger ones, please don't break anybody's heart today. For the married couples, please do not fail to know that, especially we males, that females cherish today a lot. I came across a post yesterday that said it's just a joke, but I think the joke is a little bit interesting. It says if you are taken out the day before yesterday, know that you're a mistress.
I saw that. I think I saw it this morning.
If you're taken out today, know that you are a mistress.
No,
A girlfriend. And if you are not taken out at all,
No, you're
be
the
happy
wife.
that you are the wife. But please, we don't want our wives not to be happy. Even if it means buying chocolate, sometimes that's what they all need. They want to stay. And sometimes these women think what we do not think, which include that you have gone out with your
Girlfriend.
friend. Unfortunately, many of us at this stage may not even remember that today is Valentine's Day, and you probably came back from wherever hit that you suffered, and you wouldn't know that you have actually caused problem. For men listening to us, please find a time to stay with your family. I promised my daughter I was going to see her in school today. So everybody has to go.
That's great.
And
That's great.
we prepared her. She has to go. We have to go and so that she doesn't really begin to search for something that does not exist else anywhere, something that may cause her pain. So for all of us, please let's understand clearly that today is a day to say to somebody that you are blessed. I love you and I care for you. Thank you very much.
It's good.
Beautiful spoken by my colleagues, but Professor Chiwuba's view resonates more with me. The way I see Valentine today, I think it's been poisoned. I've been looking for the best word to. I wanted to use contaminated. I think, but poisoning actually sends more of a stronger, expression. So I think Valentine has been poisoned. I'd like to disagree with you about the fact that Valentine of our time and today are the same. No. And then I think, yes, we knew it was about the celebration of the feet and the love that the Saint Valentine actually expressed, because we kept reading about it then. But today, with social media, oh dear Lord, what we see is absolutely different. In fact, people go to commit all manner of atrocities so that they can have money. So they can have money today. Yes, that's the point I was trying to make. What we used to do, we would just buy a card. You buy a card and then perhaps maybe a plastic flower. And then, find a way of sticking it and then just writing.
Sweet things.
That's all. And then you just pass it on, deliver it, and it ends there. But today, my brother, you need to move around the hotels in Enugu. They're all overbooked.
just in a lighter mood. I went into a shop yesterday. So as I was going to get some drugs for my aged mother, so I saw where they stacked condoms. So I
Wow.
asked them, how is the sale coming? They say, I said, oh, people are buying very well now. They say very, very well. I said, because the data shows that during Valentine, sales of condom increases tremendously. But beyond the sales of condom, for them doctors, they also know that STDs increase afterwards. And also after 9 months, you have more.
No, it doesn't take up to 9 months. The
More
pregnancy
deliveries
appears before
also.
the 9 months. Okay, well, okay, you're talking
More
about delivery.
deliveries,
So this
yeah.
is what we've seen. So that's why I described it as a
It
poison.
looks like transactional business.
Yeah, that's
It's
what it is. That's
transactional
what it is.
today, but then that's why I wanted to draw that
Yeah,
distinction.
yeah.
It's very important we draw that distinction.
Yeah.
So people should understand that today is not about, like you've described, going to quarter somebody in a hotel and then, of course, spending all the money that you don't even have. Some do all manner of things to get that money, and they expect money bouquets. You remember, I think there was an ad that started running quite recently. I think was it EFCC that said
Yes.
that they have banned money bouquets. And the announcement came just before this Valentine because it was very common. Social media.
Very good.
Yes, they ban. So if you're caught, it's just like
Spraying of money.
exactly spraying money. You understand? So so we need to begin to. It's important that we begin to mount a campaign. The agencies that are involved, the government agencies that are involved, don't wait until it is Valentine. Let people understand, what love is. Love is not about just getting down with someone, on the tough, whatever. I don't want to, because we're on radio, there are certain terms we cannot begin to use here. So that is what Valentine is. And I am not that that of course there are people who have sent me happy Valentine this morning. I've also responded. I didn't take the initiative to send to anybody, but once I receive. But why I do that is I want to maintain the love from perspective of Saint Valentine, the original person after which this day was named.
Okay, different things for different folks. Well, what is Valentine? I think the day we express love towards society. That's my understanding. And this love must not be located on February 14th. It's just symbolic. But you say, oh, this is a special day set up to express love. And where else can you give love? To the hopeless, to those who are in the mother babies' homes, to the underprivileged, to the have-nots. That is where you're going to express love, and you're not getting anything in return. The love that is reciprocal, so to speak, is, like you say, transactional. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. And maybe 20 years ago, I wouldn't be saying what I'm saying now. Maybe I should be. So that's where I draw a caution. Age and time will give us a lot of ideas about what life is all about. The youth, maybe I didn't get this advice, given my background. But I know we look forward to it. With the university, you must, if you attend the University of Nigeria, then you must go drive your bus. Because you're the driver. So that you had a bus, we all had buses at the University of Nigeria. So Valentine's Day, you must be at the steering, behind the steering. You must go drive your bus. If you don't drive your bus, someone else will drive your bus for you.
Nice smiley.
So let's extend love. It's not a man-woman thing, so to speak. It's about family. I was just wondering where my last daughter, what we should be doing today on Val's Day, and I discovered the university sets exam from morning till evening today. That's Nile University. She writes an exam, and her last exam for the semester. She writes an exam, serious exam. So that meant last night she was reading. I think the exam is like afternoon. So it's not even in the morning. And so that's where she's going to spend her own Val, at least writing. Please show love to the next person. Show love to your brother. Show love to your mom. Show love to your neighbor. Show love to your co-worker. Express love to society. But it's once you have to buy get gifts. Give gifts to the underprivileged. So all they can say is thank you. When you buy for a lady, some men will begin to expect something in return. And when ladies buy for men, the men will begin to have ideas. Chico, thank you. You've gotten some happy vow. I'm yet to get one.
You will. I'm definite about it.
You know?
Yes.
You know, so, but I've had a chat with my family this morning. The family platform, I express love for everybody. I say, may your day be guided by love. Express it the best way you can. So that's for Valentine. And gentlemen, yesterday El-Rufai was on the national television. 2 days ago, he managed an arrest. I mean, he escaped an arrest, but you see, he escaped an abduction. Prof, I don't know the difference between arrest and abduction. He said he came down from the plane, was trying to go through immigration, and some gentlemen on suit approached him and tried to divert him somewhere else. He said no. Come to our office. He said no. His own account. He said, let me have the letter of invitation. They could not do that, and he proceeded to immigration. Got cleared. He got his passport. As they walked out, the people came all over again. And by then, Nigeria had circled them, and it was a ding-dong affair. Well, long and short story that he eventually lost his passport to the DSS. Okay, they collected it not from him, but from his personal aide who wanted to keep it. They took it from him. And yesterday he was on national television. I don't know how many people watched it, but or if you have read the story of his attempted, what does it tell you about our nation, Prof?
Well, for me, you know, when we talk about the rule of law and the law of rule, it does appear that our nation thrives more on the law of rule instead of the rule of law. If it were to be a smaller person, a nobody, he would have been conscripted or adopted, because that arrest, as he rightly said, was without an invitation, without a warrant of arrest, without a court order. And because he understood his right, not necessarily just because of the personality he is, and people also behind him, he was able to, wriggle himself out of that. But like you said, that was done without his passport being collected. As a nation, we need to do this thing better, except it was an emergency. Even if it was to be an emergency, if you recall, before he came back, he said he would have joined the P2D at the protest at the National Assembly. But because he was in Egypt, that was why he couldn't join. But he will soon come back. So I'm sure they have his email. They have all his records. If they had wanted him, they could have written him and said, oh boy, we need you at social place at social time. And the El-Rufai that I know, because it's only somebody like El-Rufai that will also, after he ran away,
and then he was being looked for, and then came back
and still granted interview and said very, very, very things I didn't know he would say, because there are some things he said also. If the government wants, is a treasonable offense. The things he said yesterday, But you can see, and which is why I say rule of law also. If an ordinary man has said those things, by this morning he would have been behind the bar. In fact, that night from that place, he would have been arrested. For somebody to come up on air to say that he bugged the line of the National Security Advisor, and he has all the communications.
Yes.
So you know what that means. And it also shows that even our security architecture in Nigeria is flawed. If a private individual can bug the lines of National Security Advisor and has been keeping all conversations on that line, it means we are not safe. So it shows from part of your question is that we are not following what the rule says we will follow. It doesn't matter who is involved. Nigerians should learn how to follow the rules and do the right things, and at the right time, and to be seen to be doing the right things at all times. But we didn't do it right in that case.
I laugh.
In Swahili.
In Swahili. I didn't fully follow El-Rufai's statement yesterday. And I just said when I have 2 hours today, I'm going to sit behind and watch the clip from beginning to the end. It was a stupid act. It was a stupid act. I repeat it all the time. It's a stupid and will remain a stupid act. When the Rufai was dropped as a minister, I think on this platform, I said that was the costliest mistake Bola Ahmed Tinubu would ever make. I haven't met that they are trying to worsen the situation. You should have known who Rufai is. You said he bugged the line.
Yes.
It's not funny.
He said it, so he
When
said
some
it.
of us we are shouting about electronic transmission of results and making it as if it sounds that is an El Dorado. One person that has the capacity to doing something around it has told us what he can do. If you doubt him, he will quit. The truth of the matter is that it was a mismanaged, politically mismanaged situation. El Rufai had been waiting for this opportunity. So why give him the opportunity? If there was no El Rufai, I can tell you that formation of ADC would have been difficult. El Rufai was a person when the president of Nigeria, sitting President Buhari, under his regime, said that we should stop using the old Naira currency. He came out to tell everybody, please go and use the currency. And it's still to today. So why are you joking with such a person?
In fact, he said if you keep your old currency, that it will still
Be used. So he knows
And
more
what
than
he
what we
said
are discussing.
eventually-
What he knows is more than what we are. So what is El Rufai actually looking for? Which they've actually set a trap for him. Putting El Rufai behind the bars is what El Rufai wants.
Yes.
Putting him behind the bars makes El Rufai, and I can tell you that put El Rufai behind the bars in the next 1 month is out. And that is when he will get the court fellowship. And that is what El Rufai wants. He wants you to matter him. And politicians will always fail to this shenanigan that is an old story. For those who may not understand, it was El Rufai alone that kept El Zakzaky. Even when Buhari it was El Rufai that kept El Zakzaky.
It was verified that made the presidency to move to the south.
Exactly. It was El Rufai that moved, yes, exactly. Amongst every other person, he said, yeah, this president must move to this place. And he openly said that he's not a fan of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But because the North keeps to their promise that this was going to happen. So for me, it's a case between him and Niru Ribado. He has never hidden it. So when he said that he bugged Niru Ribado's line, don't be surprised that Niru Ribado bugged his own. They've been fighting.
No, he said it. He said that this is what the government is doing. That
So
they
he
keep
would do
working
it.
on
They
it.
also have the capacity to do that.
So they want to tell them that he has capacity
And
to do
Charles
that.
asked him, is that not reasonable?
What is reasonable?
So what was his response to Charles?
I think he parried the question.
No, let me tell you something. Some words are pandered around us in corridors of power. If you remember what Trump did with Elon Musk, I can tell you that no ordinary citizen of America could have done that.
And get away with it.
But Elon Musk had to, Trump had to placate that, and today they're friends. I mean, at that their level, they know what holds him. So that's why I keep saying, just like when people were shouting.
The mother had a satellite that is everywhere.
when people were moving around shouting that Tinubu, they disqualified Tinubu during APC
Yes.
committee. And what it took Tinubu was to say, let me have a discussion with Buhari. And they flipped. Flipped to the fact that those that actually did that today are in prison, Malami and Co. So the issue is, at their level, if you are a good political strategist, you don't give El Rufai what he wants. I want to come from the point of politics and not from the point of law, because he's not an ordinary person. What he wants you to do is to charge him for treasonable felony.
Do you know he said that even Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot order my arrest?
Yes.
Exactly. Now he knows what he's saying.
Yes. He actually said that. Even
You
at the
remember?
airport,
You
he cannot tell me
remember?
what
You
to
remember?
do.
He was the only governor when this operation in the northwest against the bandits. He was the only governor that was commanding the military, and they took instruction. They tell him exactly what they are doing. And he said that other governors from the northwest are covered. That he told them what they should do to wipe away these guys. And he said boldly, unfortunately, a few civilians will go, but wipe them away. And that is, is his measure. So that's the kind of man that you play with. If I were to be Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I will not give him that particular opportunity he's looking for. I will tell DSS, yes, Rapunu Woka. His governor Obasani wanted to go against him. They laughed at Obasani. and nearly Obasanjo nearly got into trouble. So for me, he is one person that knows too much. This was a guy that right from the days of Obasanjo, he had been tough. So if you think he's going to,
Sanitize Abuja.
yes, he told one popular televangelist in Nigeria. He said, look, when he said that he was giving him some days to die, he said, like, you don't need to give me. After all, nobody in my family lived up to 50 years.
Yes.
And he was grateful to have lived up to 50 years. I mean, telling he was going to die, that it means nothing. He's that kind of brave human being who feels I've achieved the most I can achieve. And if Bola Ahmed Tinubu doesn't take time, if he doesn't take time, they will still an honestness that going to the north, especially northeast and northwest, becomes a very dangerous landmine for him. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Anyan.
Yes, El Rufai is somebody that I know personally. I was the journalist that was covering Bureau of Public Enterprises
Okay.
when he was DG. So I sat with him, across the table
couple of times.
several times. When there were programs at Nikon Hilton, I'll sit with him. We used to argue. El Rufai has always been a very bold, audacious human being. Very bold, very arrogant, I must say, yes. So he's someone who doesn't care. When he eventually became Minister of FCT and he began to demolish houses, he didn't care who you were. He sanitized Abuja, in quotes at the time. And he also took the opportunity, remember that El Rufai also, made sure that his friends got the benefit of lands in Abuja, their family. Remember when he was questioned, he said, when you become minister,
Give it to
your enemies. So he did not deny. I don't know if you understand. El Rufai did not deny that he never gave, people who were very close to him or gave them advantage over others. So that's El Rufai for you. Now let's go to the major issue. I saw the clip. Sadly, I couldn't watch even the interview that we're referencing. I haven't watched it, so I'd like to watch it later. But what I saw was the clip from the airport. What happened at the airport?
Yeah.
When they wanted to stop him from leaving. They wanted to arrest him, though he termed it abduction. Up till now, I don't know. And I said this is something that has been very common in our nation. We've seen people arrested at the airport. The former governor of Anambra State, Obiano, he was arrested at the airport. We've also seen it many times, people who are trying to travel and then they will seize their passport. But this one became different. El Rufai was, in fact, you see, he wasn't even flustered at all. He was challenging. I telling the person, he said, even the president cannot tell me what to do.
Yes.
He told him at the airport, he said, even the president cannot tell me what to do. Can I see, he wanted,
Do you have the invitation?
Yes.
Then I said, no, you can't.
You understand? If you want me, send me an invitation. So he was quite bold about it. And that is typical, that is El Rufai. But that one thing that I want to say is, no matter how untouchable we feel that we are, I think sometimes it's good to be very cautious. If you have been following David Hundeyin, if you've read a lot about, if you've read a lot of Hundeyin's piece, there are a lot of things that El Rufai has been tied to. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. There's a lot. David Hundeyin. So there's a lot of things that El Rufai has been tied to. So I wouldn't know why the DSS wants to arrest him, though a lot of people like Atiku now is saying is just APC's attack on political opponents and all that. But then, there may be more than, there might be more than we see. And I believe that El Rufai already knows. Now, for him to come and boldly say that he tapped the line of the National Security Advisor, though I have my doubts, so I'm only just saying I have my doubts because I don't see the National Security Advisor making such very serious conversations on an unsecured line. I don't know if you understand. There are scrambled line, there's very secure line. You cannot be pick, for a while. Yes, that's my own thought. So
There are things you say outside now.
That's my own thought. So
No,
that's why I said that I have my
Trump's
doubts.
lines are tapped. Trump's
That's
line
why I
was
said that I have my doubt.
he-
But then he has the resources.
What are you talking about?
Absolutely, no doubt. But he has the resources. So anything is possible in this digital age. But I think it's not something you should have come out boldly in public, just to announce in the way and manner he has announced. He thinks he's untouchable. I personally don't think he's untouchable. Just like, Dr. Obasi thinks he's untouchable. But
No,
I
no,
think,
that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
That what he's looking
It's
for,
a trap for
that
them
is
to
to
hold him.
hold him. That's what he's looking for.
And also, if you watch what happened at the airport, which is another thing, I don't think we have that. Our people who've run to that aspect. When he was leaving, did you see the crowd that was?
yes, those are his followers now. He knew he was going to be
This
arrested.
is what he wants.
He already
That's
had
what he-
intelligence.
You see the crowd that was, so those crowd was ready to destroy things. At
Exactly.
that point.
That's what he wants.
Yes.
That's everything.
I actually wanted to reference that, that escaped my mind. So thanks for.
Okay, Erufai, they find terrible.
In fact, you just captured him.
They find
That's
terrible.
actually the
They find
appropriate
terrible
term for him.
Nigerian politics. He says he's been in government for too long to know that if you want to follow the rule of law, you will write a letter inviting somebody of his standing. And it's when the person fails to honor that. And even if you invited him, that he's not a jobless man, he might ask for a different date. And then if you wanted to do the arrest, say the arrest can only be done with a court order. So he says it's only the police. That DSS cannot arrest people that way. He says it's not for the part of DSS to arrest people. It's only the police that can do that.
See, this man has been inside the cabal. He knows.
So the other thing he said is about when you're in government, do not think that everybody around you appreciate what you're doing. So he talks about people who even are within the ranks of DSS who are not happy the way who are being treated. So I guess if he said they tapped the light of the
NSA.
yes, maybe just over one
Sleep.
not one sleep, 1/8 that may not even like his boss. Okay, you know the way things happen, the way you say things around your people, and they're hearing you, they're giving the order. So until we uncover what this tap is, but it's like because he was speaking with confidence that he knew he ordered it. So maybe some other person, the way they carry phone these days, they enter people's office, think they are your staff. The call who know was around. And the call when Delegiwa and group were running this watch. That they have a way of getting handwritten approvals from the presidency. The diplomatic issue. And one, I know if he was here. Governors who went through, governors who started with them. Whatever you did in the office, I know if you had the document. And the one I knew if you had the document, that's it, let it know. How he was doing it, nobody knew. So I keep telling people when you're in office, don't think it's fireproof. It's not.
It's not.
There may be a simple small aid you trust. You may not know it's not happy with you.
You're absolutely correct.
And it can leak information, and then you make a call. Believing is your trusted aid. And well, if you did bug, as he said, the phone lines of National Security Advisor, the days ahead will tell us what is on. So thank you guys. What else is here before us? For the right or wrong reason, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria may have been at war with the rest of us, the rest of Nigerians, when I can't even get the confusion there. I'm sure you guys will have a better idea what happened. What did they say? No to e-transmission. Then last Tuesday, they convened after an abracadabra. They say it is now mixed transmission, dual transmission, whatever that means. And people have been talking about what could have been the reason for not being outwardly open on the e-transmission. Is it that they don't, some people said, I would have network in our place. Hey, the other said it's about political will. What I said is a plan to rig the elections. I don't know where you are, Dr. Bass.
You're asking the wrong person first. This one is no e-transmission.
No, that's not me.
I listened to you.
No, that's not
one
me.
of the radio
Look at
stations.
put on my position. I don't have any business to do with a transmission in a flawed electoral process. That's my stand. If an electoral process is flawed, what is transmitted to you, which you assume as correct, is a flawed outcome. If you get to a place where they do, in like we saw in one of the political parties, 1, 10, 15, 30, 100, 1,000, and everybody applauds it, and it's written on a very clean sheet and transmitted, you would think that that transmitted result is clean. But the truth of the matter is that what you simply done with an e-transmission is to fast track the process.
The fraud.
The fraud. That is my point, that e-transmission does not confer transparency and legitimacy to the result you get. It's not like when Prof, we are doing things in Excel sheet, and when you are now doing it by imputing. If whatever you impute is what will the Excel sheet, bring that for you. And I'm talking about looking at the process. And I say, let's go back to last election, February 19, 2023. All the members of the Labour Party in the Northwest, including those contesting the election, all defected to APC. So effectively, during the presidential election in Northwest, there was no Labour Party agent. Nobody to talk for them. And then what do you think happened there? 2006, 2006, election. I was a polling supervisor. And in Neke here. And we came for the election. We saw, that was when I knew about the Okeza. Okeza didn't have agents. I wouldn't want to mention the political party. The party turned out, one political party turned out and brought their own members to the agents.
Of other parties.
Of other parties. Distributed themselves.
And they were actually compromised. I know the party.
So, now what happened was, those women will come and say, we want Okezia. And you see, they are saying, oh, I'm a party agent. They will take you and thumbprint your finger in other party. The result was clean. The process was wrong. And that is what I'm trying to say. That for me, e-transmission actually helps to bring transparency. But does it actually remove that clog wheel? Now for me, what is happening at the Senate, even now we have run around the same thing, what the Senate has passed is the same thing that is there. Because what INEC has been doing, they've been transmitting all the results. Now, like I said again, the second point is what is called real time. I said real time has to be defined. What is real time? Does it imply immediately? Can it be said it is within 2 hours? Can it be subject to say, let it be less 5 hours? Or when you get to the place? Because I know that these applications, these tools, can actually store and send offline. So that people would not...
I was wondering. I was wondering whether you didn't have this information.
Myself?
Yes.
I was the second person that registered JAM on thumbprint machine in 2011 in Nigeria.
Okay.
So I know clear in Enugu State. So I know what I'm saying. So the big question, because when you don't do that, you might be putting the life of our NYSC officers who are in the field. Somebody will say, have you transmitted the result? He says yes. For one reason, they didn't go. And I will say, we didn't see it. You have not done that. The mob may lynch the person there. After 5 hours, they something will go. And I tell the third one, that happened, looking at what happened in Iran, the best internet service provider one could say from the West is Skylink. But Skylink was jammed and Elon Musk couldn't do anything about it. We saw it happen in Iran, and Elon Musk was left at it. He couldn't do a jack with all his technology, with all the money. His network was completely yanked off. And I say, is it possible that somebody can utilize that? And when you say real time, let's say a legitimate result that was not transmitted in real time, according to your thinking of real time is immediate, maybe it went after 5 hours. Can it be a process where a technical ground where the court can void that election? So these are ambiguities, and I say, for me, if you want to get this, get the service provider, because INEC cannot guarantee real time if you are going to somebody else, a third party's network. So can the network providers guarantee real time? Now we come back to the point where you are getting it in this era of digital space. Somebody has told us now that he can bug NSA's data. Somebody has told, and that was what I was saying. But if somebody could hack into a Pentagon, a whole Pentagon this thing, and nothing happened, that the cyberspace you're looking is like an open space. Who can do what he can do? We don't know. So we are now saying, is it possible that even the government, when you see that you are losing an election, like what happened in Sierra Leone, the government can hack and bug that thing and make sure that the real time does not work. And then due to that, create chaos and continue ruling. Or invite his friends in military to come and take over. So why do we create a system where it's difficult? And I said, for me, the first process that option A4 happened and people won an election without electronic transmission. Rocha Sokorocha chased away Ohakim out of Imo State without any electronic transmission. We've seen the electronic transmission in Edo State and people were shouting. Real time transmitted. And people were shouting the result was flawed. Now, in all these processes, how do we handle the process to be legitimate? First, that the political parties has to wake up. And I said, APC began rejoicing on a Tuesday after that election was conducted in 2023. If you remember, their situation room busted into happiness because they were receiving every polling unit result in their situation room. PDP has the same polling unit result. Enugu State, their PDP in Enugu State was collecting results from the polling unit. And I said, the most important agent you need to have to make this e-transmission, good, is to have your agents there who are not compromised. So that they ensure that what was counted, whether it is for you or against you, should be actually what is to be transmitted. And they follow it up to the World Collation Center. I hope you know that the collation is still manual, even with what they transmitted. What they say is the e-transmission you're talking about is for real-time viewing. And then NGOs, CSOs, can set up online webs where people will get results from each place. Once you put it, AI will help you identify the polling unit and put it in Excel sheet. And this result can be tabulated. Now, when you enhance that, leave what the INEC is doing. At the end of it, the INEC will have no other option than to transmit whatever is read. And I said, until some months, I don't know of now, Abuja election, the senatorial election, was only uploaded 49%. But Ireti Kingibe was announced the winner. And people said this was the result. Nobody queried it. In Southeast here, the presidential election result, we all agreed it was fair and fair. But it's among the results that were not transmitted. Why? Because the agents were here. So when the agents were here, it becomes almost impossible for you to do that, your magu. But let me tell all of us, if you like, this is Nigeria we are. We are not in saying, what is the name? Finland, where people keep ballot paper and go to work. This is Nigeria to be operated by Nigerians. I can tell you that that result can be uploaded 5 minutes after the polling unit has ended. In places where the agents are not available. But less than 10% of those that voted would actually be transmitted. And you clap for yourself and you will say, yes, the INEC has done the right job. That is the point I'm looking at.
Okay. Well, Dr. Chukwudi, I'm going to come to you because when I asked him to speak, you said
yes, because
he had their doubts.
Yeah, because I listened to him, and then there's certain things I also would like to respond to.
Go ahead.
Some of the points he has made.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've seen recent interviews granted by the former chairman of INEC, where he was referring to beavers. You understand? Now, the beavers does not need to be connected to the internet for it to be able to. It can be online. It will capture in exactly the same time when the photograph of the result is taken for the particular polling booth. And you know that with social media, a lot of other people, because we saw it happen in 2023. We saw this happen in 2023. So people will be there also using their own phones. All right, to take images of these results, and then it captures it. And so if that picture was taken, for instance, let's say at 12:15 p.m., it will register on the Beavers machine that it was taken at 12:15 p.m. It may not be able to be transmitted at that time because there's no network.
That is the question of real time.
Hold on. Even if it is transmitted 5 hours later, it will still read 12:15. It will still read 12.
Do you know my question?
This
is Beavers time. I'm saying define the real time.
They have removed the real time. They have removed the real time as it were.
It has a flaw.
Yes, they've removed the real time as it were. But my view, I think the Senate knows what they are doing. So even with the adjustment That is instead of saying no electronic. Why did they go with no electronic transmission in the first
No,
place?
they say it according to the manual, according to at INEC discretion, 2023. They didn't say no transmission. No. They said at INEC discretion, 2023.
No, but based on what happened in 2020, I'm talking about currently now.
What they said, the first thing they did was to
Yes.
say they are leaving it at the discretion of INEC according to how it was in 2023, which is INEC prescribes how you go.
But we know that it created a lot of arguments and problems in 2023. And masses are saying, I mean, most Nigerians are saying, oh, well, a lot of Nigerians are saying, because you cannot actually take the number and say, this is exactly the number of people. Some people don't even understand this. So, but a lot of people, there's agitation, and the people are saying, we want electronic transmission of results. We want it to be captured in the act or in the law, so that it will be very clear that you have made points about having agents. Oh, that is very, 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 very vital. But I think that is left to the individual parties. If they cannot have agents in the individual polling units, that's their own business. But what we want to see, what was able to throw up a lot of new people that people were not expected to even win elections. It happened in Enugu. Yes. We had we had Labour Party.
It was agents now.
We had Labour Party.
It was the agents.
That's the point I'm making. You understand? Remember that the presidential elections, while during the assembly elections, of course, electronic transmission was possible. We saw that. We saw people capture. These things were captured on diverse machines. I mean, the counts, it was easy to determine and say, okay, these are the number of people who came to this polling unit. These are the number of people who voted, and this is how they voted. We also saw mutilation of physical results. That's the problem. In Rivers State, you saw what happened. There was so much mutilation. People will vote, and then there will be a tabulation at the end of the day. What form is that again?
From ECA.
From ECA. You know, you will see figures where, I mean, it was so evident. That is what people want to avoid this time around. So I think the Senate, erred, in even the way they have stated the law as it is today. I think it should have said there has to be, make it mandatory to be electronic transmission of the results. Because it is going to, what is it called, narrow their rigging arena. In my view, it will narrow the rigging arena. I know you talked about hacking. Yes, it is possible. But how much of your money has been hacked since you began to maintain accounts in banks?
He's in financial sector. You will not know.
Well,
I'm not saying he will not know. He will know. I also know that there are people who have lost their money, but it could have been on account of some mistakes that they've also made. You understand what I'm saying? Some people, I mean, somehow, this thing happened even in advanced nations. We talked about the Pentagon. We've also seen this electronic transmission of results work in other countries. So why can't it work here? Now, they have also given excuses. Look at the kind of excuses that they are banding. That there's no network in their village. There's no network there. You understand what I'm saying? So why can't the law be even, adjusted in such a way and manner, or framed in such a way and manner that let the beavers capture it, and then at the end of the day, it can be uploaded. I'm done.
Okay,
Thank you.
gentlemen, I like the angles you take it, but one thing you must understand, you think that just the transmission dictates transparency.
I didn't say so.
No, I said we're assuming that once it's transmitted, whether real time, no real time, then the election has been transparent. Anyway, Prof, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think the first things first. While I would want us to have a real-time e-transmission, in the article I wrote recently, which you published, where I said who would decide Nigeria in 2027, I alluded to the fact that we need to address the issue relating to the upstream first before we start going into even transmission issues. Even when you do e-transmission, the law still empowers the collation officer at the ward level, at local government, at the state level, and eventually, what do you call this with our announce result at state levels? All those people.
Okay. State collation officer.
All those people.
Returning
officers.
The power to announce results still rests with returning officers. irrespective of whatever thing you have posted on IRF.
I'm not interrupting you, but where there's no match between what is announced and what is captured
I'm still coming.
electronically.
I'm still coming.
Good. All right.
I have seen INEC go do mathematics in the office
That power
and
rests-
adjusted what was
Yes,
transmitted.
that
what
power.
was-
That
So
power.
it's not.
rests-
It's not. It's not.
yes,
It's
that
not.
power
It's not.
rests- That power
It's not safe
rests-
to say that.
That power
You
rests.
see INEC go back and do mathematics.
That power rests with
In
the
the
returning officer. And when you go to court, what the court will say, who announced the results? They won't start checking what is on the website. And by the time you might even go back to IREF, because it still be INEC that will provide that evidence to the court, not to you. Court cannot work with even the what
The
they call
document you provide.
No, you cannot.
You're not the true
You are
custodian.
not the custodian of the district, so it will still be INEC. So by that time, INEC would have still done what they need to do as well. So first thing first, if we want to go to rate time, in the true sense of rate time, you mentioned the US. Yes, in US you still vote and print ballot paper.
Yeah.
But the results, when you voted, is transmitted rate time on that machine. The documentation is just in case. And that's why as voting is going straight to the system because
Is that how they can predict who will win?
because it's the rate time. Now we are not doing rate time. If you know when you talk about El-Rufai, his bad side, you talk about his good time. You know El-Rufai as a governor bought machines and demonstrated
local government
that we can use rate time in Nigeria and it will work.
And that's why you had the kind of results you had.
Yes.
In
They
Kaduna
can work.
State.
They can work.
I agree.
So we need to also strengthen our party politics. Part of the reasons why P2B lost at the court was because there's no agent
No agent.
to verify whatever document he's claiming. And like you said, in Enugu here, in my own polling unit, APC last election didn't have party agents in Enugu here.
So how would you win?
So how would you win?
It's impossible.
So that component needs to be addressed. The other component that needs to be addressed is also if we are talking about electronic rate time, whatever thing is called, which is good. It gives us that feel good syndrome that is going on well. We'll also move from just doing. How can you use beavers to do accreditation? It worked, Abi.
It is.
Yes, you still have incident form. The law still allows that where beavers fails, you still stay, which is why you still see where they say if you come to a place, this thing fell, we have 300. At incident form, the incident form is higher than even what the beavers is using. And which is why they can collect your what do you call this thing? Voter's card. You can see where a party is registering members, and part of the information they are collecting is voter's card.
In fact, that voters card, let me help you.
And you think
you don't
it's- and
even
you
need
think-
to be at that polling unit.
To vote.
So vote.
And you think it's normal.
In fact, when I watched the beavers,
So-
I told somebody the sensitivity is so
So
high.
are we no
So-
longer going to have
so-
some printing of ballot paper?
Anybody can print paper
Okay.
because it's still ballot.
We see it all the time.
So it's still.
All you need is just to
Like,
save one
every
side.
day get you know, every day because the foundational structural things has not been solved. The election structure is at the last end of it. The transmission is at the last end
Exactly.
of it.
That's my
So,
point.
so that which was the point is making that you can legitimize illegitimacy
Legitimacy.
by transmitting what is false from day one, and to everybody looks real.
And you can't.
So
you can't argue it.
for me, I agree we need electronic transmission, rate time, mandatorily. But more importantly, there are basic things that we need to deal with that we have not dealt with. And until those things are dealt with, Nigerians, whatever thing we are doing is just emotional jigoism that has no basis on the law and the real effect of the election.
So the formulators of that law now, they didn't envisage all
That's what I'm saying. Now nobody's talking about it. You know, most times as people, we dwell more on inanities than looking at the real issues. It's like it's like also on our own economy. Most times people will discuss the symptoms
Start discussing
without discussing
root cause.
the root cause of the issues. We have constitutional issues. We have electoral act issues. The main issues we are not addressing it, but we are addressing what is not important. You know, in that article, he read it or published it. You know, as people, the election is already decided
I
even
saw
before,
that your article,
even
but I
before we
haven't
vote.
had- I've not even had
People are
time.
what hand it to you.
Before we vote, because we don't have authorities. It's only the authorities that are being provided to us that we latch on.
But that's what Nigerians are saying. We don't want that
Let me
anymore.
tell you
No, how can
something.
you not want that anymore when the party
Yeah.
politics has not, issues has not been addressed?
Let me tell you something. Please, let me make an in 2000 and Obama, Clinton, and not Clinton, Trump versus Biden. You know one of the arguments of Biden that early votes in America prompted those that were even dead and those that were sick to vote. He said that Republicans knew those that were dead and those that were sick, that their names are still in their voters register, and they voted.
And that was why he didn't want.
And that was why he didn't win the election. What did he do the second time? He now told people not to go and vote the so-called early election. That the system was like
Rigged.
it was rigged from
Rigged
to
in
do
such a
that.
way, man.
So first of all, how do you rig an electoral system? I've said it countless times here. My father's name, my mother's name is still in the electoral
Voters
register. And that voters register, if you bring that voters register, if any party goes today, you see the so-called
My wife's name is still there.
so you can actually use it somewhat to vote my father there. All you need to get is his passport and Beavers will look at it and then that goes. And you tell me that the election is fair.
Well, gentlemen,
I don't know.
So take a break.
not even taking a break. I think that Nigerians are becoming very emotional about elections, maybe given their past experiences. But the issue is that election is a process, and that process of transparency should begin from the beginning. Party formation, candidate selection, party primaries.
Everything.
So when you have all those flawed, and you think that the only thing good is
transmission. You transmit so.
already those who to run for elections, they say the party, but they are manipulating it already. So they're not allowing good guys to run for an election. And you see what's happening with party registration and things like that. Let us go there.
Yeah.
We know there's no transparency in what they're doing.
Yes.
You don't need a suicide to say that. There are times they're asking for BVN. When there's an uproar, they dropped it.
Yeah.
Hey guy, and part of looking for BVN is to begin. I said I don't know what they want to do with it.
Your bank account.
So a process that is not transparent cannot have a very good result. But thank you guys for these interventions. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll either open the talk lines or we'll just talk about the Southeast Development Commission Stakeholders Conference that just ended.
Okay.
Just very briefly. I know Prof wants to speak to that. Even I've invited him somewhere else to speak to you exclusively. That's okay.